Larry Figurski is live in Arlington, Texas, continuing our team coverage. Hi, Larry.
Hi, guys. Yeah, the national storyline coming out of this game is that, hey, this is a legitimate top 15 team. And, boy, they prove they can play with the big boys. And, you know, there's a silver lining despite the loss of what they were able to prove in this remarkable season. But I'll tell you, it was an incredibly sad and somber locker room. Tears in there as well for guys who have put so much into not only this past month preparation for the bowl game, but in general for this incredible season. As they told us all week long, they really believe not only that they could, but would beat the Badgers here this afternoon. We talked with a couple of the West Michigan Broncos afterwards. Well, Zach showed Riley's goal, and Shayan alluded to it. He now the answer of a trivia question is the last guy to score a goal in this building. The first, by the way, Brian Sutter of the St. Louis Blues back in 1979. Plenty of chills all around tonight, Zach. You know, for me personally, when I walked in, the first thing I thought about was the first game I came here to Joe Louis Arena. I was a 15-year-old kid. Tonight I'll walk out a 52-year-old father of 2 adult children, but like so many other people with a ton of great memories created in this building. You know, for a game that really didn't mean anything in the standings, certainly it was a playoff-type atmosphere. And when it was all over, they sent the folks home with a song. Of course, Journey's Don't Stop Believing, in one collective born and raised in South Detroit. Great way to say goodbye to the last great old barn in the NHL.
What happened to Lexi there at the end of her round? What slowed her down?
Well, she joked around. She got a little hungry. We'll let you hear that sound in just a minute, Jack. But she reeled off 5 birdies, 17, 18, 1, 2, and 3. And then at one point, birdied 8 of 10 holes on the day. So she loves this course, plays very well here. She had a good day as well. And as we mentioned, not only did Brooks set a course record, but 6 other players now would have tied that mark today. But here's some thoughts from Lexi right after today's round 1. Yeah, hi guys. Opening night is always special and always full of hope. And for the first time in a long time, this team really needs a little hope. So the game is certainly important, but there's no mistaking that this evening is about this incredible new arena. And we'll give you a look around at this $840 million facility. There have been 4 preseason games here played here, 3 Red Wing games, 1 Pistons game, but about 50 or less % of capacity. And the players said it was loud then. They can't wait to see what it is going to be tonight. There's also an elaborate light and projection show expected here inside the building. Let's take you out to the plaza now. Just a few moments ago, as the Red Wings are making their way in via the red carpet, some of the alums showed up just a short while ago. That group including Nick Lidstrom, Manny Legacy, Yuri Fisher, and a host of other Red Wing greats who are here tonight. The current players say while they'll enjoy being in the building and they wanted to be a part of this special atmosphere, they know bottom line is they've got to win a hockey game tonight. Nellie was the very first player signed by the Grand Rapids Griffins. I covered that 21 years ago. Kind of full circle for you to be the first to do this as well.
You know what? It's unreal. It feels great. I don't think I'm going to lose this feeling for quite a while.
All right. Hey, enjoy it. Thanks for doing this, buddy, and we're very, very happy for you.
All right. Thanks, Larry. Join me for a drink after.
We'll see you shortly, my friend. Todd Nelson, the now Calder Cup champion. He's won it as a player, he's won it as assistant coach, and now as a head coach leading the Grand Rapids Griffins to their 2nd title in 5 years. For now, live in downtown Grand Rapids, Larry Figurski, 24-hour News 8. Back to you guys.
I don't think I've ever seen that on live television.
Maybe
I'll
not.
drink to that.
Can I accept
Enjoy,
that or
yeah.
no? Later.
He's earned it, that's for sure. All right, great stuff. Thank you, Larry. A few hours from now, halfway around the world in Nepal, a West Michigan woman will continue her climb to the base camp of the world's largest mountain.
Ann Chamberlain had dreamed of visiting Mount Everest since she was a young girl, and this week she is doing that. Larry Figurski joining us now with more on Ann's climb.
Yeah, one that she is now making with a much bigger purpose in mind. Ann has already faced a mountain of challenges over the past 5 years. It just keeps setting new goals and keeps climbing to reach them, hoping to help and inspire others facing similar challenge, especially those with very little hope.
Ann Chamberlain is preparing for one of the most physical challenges of her life.
I have been infatuated with Mount Everest since long, long ago.
This one by choice.
To me, it's just the most beautiful, natural monument to Earth. I just want to see it.
Albeit at a time when her now 56-year-old body was at its weakest point ever.
50.
After 2 separate, near-fatal bouts with cancer.
I guess I'm doing this climb because I want to prove maybe to myself that I am alive, I'm strong, I'm capable, because I wasn't capable, I wasn't strong, I was very, very sick.
So she hired a personal trainer.
That's 10. One day she looked at me and says, "You want to know what? I'm going to climb to the base camp." And I went, "Okay." Climbing Everest, got it.
A dream that, for the past 5 years, seemed impossible.
I was diagnosed in the fall of 2012, October, right after I had gotten married. Stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, a very aggressive, high-grade form.
So much so that Ann was rushed into chemotherapy.
By the time I was diagnosed, it had spread from basically head to toe. It was in my bone marrow, so it was in my skull, it was in my femur, it was in my shoulder. It also had created tumors in my abdomen, and my spleen was also almost completely covered.
Because the cancer was so advanced and aggressive, doctors had to infuse the chemo directly into her spine. Yet after nearly a year and a half of treatment, Ann was surprisingly cancer-free and officially placed in remission.
That's 10.
Yet just 6 months later, in November of 2014, she was diagnosed with a different form, stage 3 neck and throat cancer, with doctors removing some 30 lymph nodes from her neck.
Once again, I had chemo, radiation, feeding tube, and I think that was almost harder than the first cancer because you can't eat. The radiation is just brutal.
But again, she survived and was placed in remission, yet
I lost all of my muscle. I was just a bag of bones.
So once again, Ann needed to rehab both her body and her mind.
5.
So when Dr. Chris Vanderberg wanted to create an oncology rehabilitation department for cancer patients at Mary Free Bed, Ann was more than happy to get involved.
He had a pool of patients, and they really wanted to know what would have been helpful, what is helpful, what were your struggles, how can we help a patient, and was able to develop his department to serve the oncology community.
Her decision to climb to at least the base camp of Mount Everest, not only a goal for herself, but a way she hopes she can inspire others battling cancer, especially those facing the type of precarious prognosis she was.
When you're that ill, just breathing is a challenge. You have thoughts in your head about dying. You have thoughts in your head, you know, will I leave this hospital? And those are really scary and they're dark. And I also think that the stronger you are and the more fit you are, if you get sick, you have a much better chance of surviving.
Today, Ann is strong again.
She has done absolutely phenomenal. And to me, that's just the coolest thing I can say I've seen happen.
Now ready to do what she was told she probably never could, climb Mount Everest. And more importantly to Ann, inspire fellow cancer patients to not give up on their dreams.
You know, life is a gift, and none of us have a guarantee. And if you're very sick, I want someone to have just a nugget of hope, because I was very sick, and now I'm well, and at times I didn't think I would make it.
And I first met Ann when she was first diagnosed, and in all honesty, things did not look good at all. So she continues to amaze, surprise, and most importantly to her, inspire others, especially, as I mentioned, those who don't have much hope. So
She is a huge inspiration.
Yeah,
We wish her luck.
She says she's only going to the base camp. I wouldn't be surprised if she goes back next year and goes all the way to the summit, but we'll see.
Except for her.
Best of luck.
Brittany Schnick first joined a bowling league when she was 12 years old.
Now, were you good right away?
No.
Yet, just a little more than 2 years later, as a freshman at Caledonia High School, Brittany not only made the varsity team,
I did not think that was ever going to happen.
but was named the team's anchor.
We had a senior girl on the team. She pulled me aside and she goes, "Coach, she's our best player. You know, you should have her as our anchor."
As a sophomore, she led the Scots to the state finals for the first time in school history.
It's really helped our team bond.
Brittany also finished 8th overall individually in the state in Division I.
You could just see that she was a special kid.
Everything seemed to be rolling perfectly for Brittany. But just 1 week later, in March of 2015, in a woodshop class,
I was on the jointer. There's these pads that you slide across with the wood. And I was going across, and I guess the wood got stuck on the guard for the saw, and my finger slipped and it went like right into the saw.
Brittany had severed her ring finger just above the first knuckle and the tip of her middle finger on her left hand, her bowling hand.
Brittany mom, she calls me and says, "Brittany cut her fingers off." I'm like, "What?" You know, I mean, I'm in utter shock.
The two fingertips a bowler uses to control the roll and the spin of the ball.
The first thing that came out of my mouth was like, I'm not gonna be able to bowl.
Brittany was rushed to the hospital.
That was their first words when I walked up into the school. And
What?
well, I don't think I'll ever be able to bowl again.
She underwent the first of 2 surgeries a week later.
I thought my career was over, but I talked to the doctor and to my coach, and they said I could bowl, so then I was like, okay, I can do this.
She had a ball drilled with a special grip.
It's called the Sarge Easter, and it's where I put my whole finger, my ring finger, into the ball, and then for my middle finger, I just put the grip in it.
And Brittany began practicing almost every day.
Was this adjusting, or was this like learning all over again?
It was definitely like learning to bowl again.
The kid who had averaged in the 190s was rolling nearly half that.
The first couple times we practiced, I mean, she was throwing a 100 game.
But Britt kept practicing and practicing and practicing.
She worked her tail off.
Brittany not only returned for her junior season, but improved her average by 10 pins to a career-high 203.
I had my team through the whole thing, and my coach came and practiced with me each day, which helped me and gave me confidence to be able to get back into it again.
She led Caledonia to another conference title and threw a career-high game of 279.
She inspired me as a person, because to battle back through something like that is pretty awesome.
This year as a senior, she's been even better, again averaging 203, leading Caledonia to a 4th straight conference title and into the regional finals this weekend as a legitimate state champion contender.
It'd be really cool to get a state title.
She was just like, I'm going to get back out there and do what I need to do to get where I was at, and if not better. And she did say I'm going to be better, and she was.
I'm sure you're pretty proud of her, huh?
Oh, very proud. Very, very proud.
Now, regardless of what happens on the lanes this weekend or next, Brittany will be headed to Midland University of Nebraska on a bowling scholarship this fall. It was a celebration 67 years in the making.
Unbelievable. This city, man, this is the best American League city I've ever played in. These people are amazing. The adrenaline that we fed off of this team, yeah, we won this cup, but this city won this cup.
From the 1950 Rockets to the 2017 Griffins, the first Grand Rapids professional hockey team to hoist a cup on home ice.
It was awesome. We knew coming home that we're going to have a good crowd and cheer to do in front of all these people that were here tonight and making lots of noise. It was really exciting.
What began on the ice poured into the locker room.
Here, so many emotions. It's the best feeling ever.
And eventually out onto the town.
Hey, I love playing here. It's a great atmosphere. The city, the fans, everybody's been so great to me over the past 6 years. I consider this my second home.
Grown men acting like little boys. Even the old ones.
It's a great feeling. I couldn't breathe, I just was so happy. Celebrate with the guys, that was a long season.
These Griffins went 15-4 in the playoffs and a perfect 10-0 at home.
Bert's got the puck. In front, score!
I mean, it's tough not to play your hardest in front of this crowd. I mean, they've been amazing for us since I got here.
Bonded forever by a championship.
So honored to be able to put that trophy up in front of all these people. The greatest group of guys in that room. I mean, I got brothers for life in there.
And a celebration they shared with a city.
Incredible to do it at home this time, in front of the fans, how loud it was. It was a special moment.
That no one there will ever forget.
I'm so proud of the players. They're unreal. It's a great feeling.